Hello, hello, and welcome to another episode of Sufficiently Black, the podcast that explores what it means to be comfortable in your blackness. I'm Amari Pollard here. I'm one of your co-hosts, here with
Kia Swinton
and Janae Price.
Yes, we're very sing-songy today, guys. Welcome. If you're just joining us, we're happy to have you here. Also, feel free to join us in our Discord and chat with us on social media, on Instagram and Twitter at Sufficiently Black. So let's just get into it. Why do people expect Black women to mother others? It's just something we've been talking about. Janae was actually the one who kind of like spearheaded bringing this conversation because it's just something that we've noticed a theme come up in our daily lives and just like how we are, things we observe in the workplace, our personal lives, our relationships. And it's like Black women, like people expect a level of patience and like empathy from us that is just like not usually reciprocated. So we just wanted to get into it.
Yeah, Amari, that was beautifully said. To dive deeper, I'm coining this phrase. I'm coining it. The motherfication of Black women.
It sounds very like, are you writing a dissertation?
Yes, I am. I am. But just to explain it a little more, in relation to white people, we typically see Black women, and it can be portrayed with like Black gay men, straight men, but it's mostly Black women, used as a type of spirit guide on the silver screen. The motherfied Black woman, she's nurturing, gives advice, and is a bit subservient to the white people around her. She really has no backstory of her own. Her only job is to be an emotional crutch to the white main character. And Greg Braxton from the LA Times noted that the Black best friend functions to support the heroine, often with sass, attitude, and a keen insight into relationships in life. Which is so funny because when we see this trope played out in movies and TV, the Black character has literally no storyline other than being supportive, but suddenly they have the key to unlock the entire plot and help out the main character. So.
Can you give an example? I know we have that later, but I think we should just give an example of that.
So we've seen this in The Matrix with the Oracle and Morpheus. We've seen this in Devil Wears Prada with the best friend that we only see like twice in the beginning and the end of the movie.
Yo, I forgot about her for a second. And she's from
You
Brian.
don't even know.
I love her.
You don't even know she's in the movie,
You're
right?
so right.
You see this in Sex and the City, the movie with Jennifer Hudson's character. Oh, and I'm ready to go off about this. I just watched Dune, and you see it in Dune. Zendaya has no lines, really. She only has a handful of lines. We don't actually meet her character, and sorry for spoilers, but we don't actually meet her character until the end of the movie, and she's basically there as Timothée Chalamet's kind of spirit guide to help him unlock his path and journey. And this is something that I've talked about with Amari and Kia a lot, where it seems like a lot of shows nowadays are kind of blackfishing, where they'll promote it as if this story is mainly focusing on a Black character. I mean, when you look at the poster for Dune, it's Timothée Chalamet's the biggest, and then Zendaya is like the second biggest. But Zendaya is not even in the movie. You see it with we saw it with Bridgerton. We saw it with what is it, Georgia and some show on Netflix. But we just see it a lot.
That awful show on Netflix written by those two women with that infamous scene.
Two white women.
Yes, where I think he was mixed. He's like half Asian and she's half Black, and they were just saying no one talks to each other like that. That was like the most. I don't know what they think people of color talk like, but that was the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
It was terrible, but it's just like this new wave of them trying to kind of fish and be like, we're woke, we cast all this other stuff. But it's basically like they're promoting as if the story is about a Black person. And then it's the same thing that we've always seen, which is the motherfication trope, where the story is about a white person and there's a Black person who's simply there to help them and emotionally support them. So
we also see that with, I think shows got called out on it so much that it's not happening as much anymore. But there was a very big stint where Black women were seeming to be being like at high rates hired to play therapists in shows, a lot of the times to white people. I'm thinking of Modern Love. There was one episode, Tina Fey's and her husband had a Black therapist. You're the Worst, Black therapist. Just like so many shows. And it's like, why is it that we can only be seen as Black women when we have to take on other people's stuff?
Yeah. And it's frustrating because you don't, on its nose, it seems like, oh, it's a good thing that Black women are kind of being portrayed in this soft light when we talk so often about how Black women are only seen as sexual or tough and independent, right? So it is great that Black women are being softened in this way, but we're only being softened in relation to helping and being subservient to white people. And more specifically, white women, which in society are always hyper feminized, right? So it's kind of like Black women still we can't reach that goal of being hyper feminized, but we can help a white woman get there. And it's kind of like we're still, as a society, we're still not there. We're still messing up, dropping the ball, and hurting Black women.
But we also see it just when we talk about, I think it's just like, in general, just people in general think that Black women are there to serve or to help, or like we have to press down our wants and desires to help other people. We see this again in relationships. We see even in the way that men, like, for example, like how men are raised versus like Black women are raised. I feel like we don't get the, I don't want to say like the mothering, but the nurturing is not the same. It's not the same. It's not as soft sometimes. It's a little bit harder, and the expectation is higher. Like, I feel like it's so easy to look at like my male counterparts that I've grown up with, and just how far on different planes we are, and how much I do not get coddled and they do. Like, but who's doing the coddling? Again, the expectation is Black women. So
I also think I was just about to tweet this
right now,
but like, yeah, I was thinking I have thoughts, and Twitter's like my journal, y'all. So yes, you will see a tweet about this in about 3 seconds. But I was tweeting, like, it seems almost like, again, I'm Black, I can only speak about Black people in this contest, but it seems like constantly I see this on TikTok, but like Black men's obsession with submission. Maybe, Janae, you can talk about it because you're on TikTok, or maybe you guys see it on social media. But there's, like, always a thing of, like, when it's like, why do you date white women or other people? They're, like, they're easy. They submit to me. It's, like, a constant obsession with, like, submission. And I'm not getting it. I'm wondering if, like, maybe you guys have seen it, or, like,
I've seen
I don't know.
it.
I'll have to ask someone else about it. And I'm just confused. Like, I just saw a TikTok. I think I sent it to you, Janae, about this Black woman who's, like, you know, like, my introduction to Black men was, it was like sexual predators, it was being colorist, it was making fun of me at school, and never in my life have I publicly, like, shat on Black men and said, I don't date you because you did this trauma to me at age 2 or whatever, which I was like, facts. Yeah. I know a lot of women that have that story. And then the comment, this Black man was like, well, y'all don't submit. And I'm like, what is y'all? I'm sorry, I don't see anyone else talking about the submission shit but y'all.
You know, it's funny to me that all of the white women I know are not submissive. All of the white women in my life are the type of women who will tell you off if you acting crazy.
I agree.
And a lot of them date men of color and don't take no shit, which is very, very interesting. And I will also say that I've heard from Black men before. I mean, I've had close friendships with Black men where they straight up have admitted to dating white women because it's easier, because white women are easier to get and white women are easier to please.
But then there's like,
yes, Amari.
That's like the hypocrisy. And like someone on social, we asked, the question, like, if people thought that Black women are expected to mother others more. and I asked like why or why not, and like someone said they're like there's so much conflict happening in what people expect from us because it makes no sense. We're difficult, supposedly. We don't submit, yet you're always looking at us to mother you and like nurture you and build you up, but yet we're hard. Like what? Something's not making sense.
It don't curl all the way over. I'm thinking about one person who I used to be very close to, and he seemed to always kind of have this irritation / disdain for Black women and things that would happen to Black women. But then I look, and his mama was the most supportive, be there for his broke ass all the time. And it don't make no sense when it's like on one end, you can have all of this vitriol for Black women, but the Black women in your life constantly help you, support you, and hold you up. I don't get it. But
I don't get it either.
I think we're getting a little off topic though.
No, I think it makes sense. That's how it is in relationships. I just saw it because I'm like, I constantly see this thing and I'm like, I don't get I don't get wanting a partner to submit. Like that's weird. That needs to be addressed separately. But it seems like almost like y'all want slaves as wives. Like that's what it sounds like to me when I hear I want women to submit to me. What?
I saw a TikTok explaining this, and it was a Black man explaining this, saying that, okay, let me get my thoughts in order. So in slavery, or basically in the hierarchy of color and power, the white man basically always has his foot on the Black man's neck. So in order for the Black man to feel more powerful, he turns around and does that to the only support system that he has, which is the Black woman. It's kind of like one of those situations where, like, you know that you can kind of snap at or be rude or say something mean to your parent, to your sibling, to your partner, because you know they're not going anywhere and you know that they honestly love you. And sometimes you take out your anger on them like when you don't need to. So basically the Black man was saying, like, Black men do that to Black women because they have nowhere to point their anger that the white man imposes upon them. So it was a good TikTok. I'd have to find it.
Oh, damn. I have to see it. No, it
but guys, our resources can't just be straight TikToks. Are these is there like a bibliography on this TikTok?
Well, no, it's
like where he got this info from.
It's not like we watch Dusties on TikTok. A lot of them are like educated, he seemed professors and stuff.
Very educated, and frankly, that made sense to me. It seemed like a math equation that was math.
I'm not saying it doesn't make sense. I'm just, where is the original source? That's my question.
It's not a reliable source.
We can't, it's crazy because I feel like teachers are soon going to have to be like, how teachers used to say Wikipedia is not a primary source? They're going to have to be like, TikTok is not a primary source.
You're so right. You're so right. But should we move on to the Mammy?
Yeah. So we just thought, we're talking about like the ideas of Black women, like these stereotypes. And I think the Mammy is the closest to where the idea of mothering comes from. Y'all, I literally stole this paragraph from my thesis. Makes me feel very like academic right now. Excuse me. So, through the stereotypical image of the Mammy, Black women are seen as loyal domestic servants to white people, similar to Uncle Tom's stereotype born from Harriet Beecher Stowe's novel, Uncle Tom's Cabin, which portrays the title character as a Black man who is happy to be excessively obedient to his white slave owners, but both take pride and joy in providing for their white families over their own. While the Mammy is seen as loving to her white kin, she is seen as an aggressive controller over her Black kin. And her physical image is usually portrayed as being aggressive and overbearing. They usually portray Mammies as being like masculine, large, with, dark skin. And these features position a Mammy as non-threat sexually to her white female counterparts. Lots of layers going in there. But it's not ridiculous for people to say that Black women are expected to nurture more, because based off of slavery and how people used us, it's just fact. It's just fact.
Very, very educational there.
We got to get it in there.
Thank you.
People love to come for us. Thanks so much for tuning into this week's episode. You can talk to us on social media at sufficientlyblk. Email us at sufficientlyblakpodcast@gmail.com with any questions or feedback. You can listen to us anywhere you get podcasts, and don't forget to follow us so you don't miss any new episodes. Until next time, bye.
Bye.
Bye. Damn, I was on mute. Bye.